The Miami Heat have had a very rough season, but Tyler Hero might have been able to use that to his advantage when it comes to one of the postseason awards that the league will give out. My name is Manuel Buroz, and we're going to talk about what award Tyler Hero might actually have a good chance of winning and why I believe he has a good chance of winning this award. But before we do that, let's make sure that we continue to subscribe to the Heat Digest community. As you guys continue to see, the subscribe numbers have been absolutely amazing, and we continue to ask you guys do nothing but what you've been doing and continue to grow this community to the best of your abilities. But with that being said, we're going to get right into what I mean when we're talking about a postseason award for Tyler Hero this coming season. The award that I believe Tyler Hero has a very, very good chance of winning is honestly an award that may have been tainted recently, is the Most Improved Player of the Year award. Tyler Hero has done a very good job at having his best season. We're going to look at the numbers here in a minute, but he has had his best season, and even though the Miami Heat have not been able to have the same success they've had last year, obviously a lot of these awards, something you got to take into consideration are the storylines, whether that's MVP, Coach of the Year, whatever the case may be. You know, every year that the voters have voter fatigue and all this other stuff, so they start looking at other aspects of a player's campaign for a specific award, not just their numbers and their team success, but what happened during the year, what happened going into the season, what happened during the season, stuff like that. So for the Miami Heat, the storyline is the Jimmy Butler saga, the Jimmy Butler debacle that was going on throughout pretty much the entire season. It feels like pretty much up until the trade deadline when he was eventually traded around that time. And Tyler Hero was the most consistent player throughout that. He made an all-star appearance even despite all of that. So is this going to be the year that Tyler Hero gets the Most Improved Player, and in my opinion, the first most deserving Most Improved Player in a very long time? And I'll talk about that with the assistance from Mr. Kyle Anderson himself. Kyle Anderson said it best himself when he said, quote, Cade Cunningham, stop giving it to number 1 and number 2 picks. They're doing what they're supposed to be doing. That was a quote from Kyle Anderson when talking about why he believes Tyler Hero deserves to be in the Most Improved, not just debate, but actually the front runner. And when we look at the odds-on favorites to win the Most Improved Player, we're going to look at all 5 of these players. Tyler Hero obviously at the bottom with the farthest odds of the 5, and then above him, Christian Braun, Austin Reeves, Cade Cunningham, and Dyson Daniels in that order. Dyson Daniels, according to the odds makers, is the most likely to win the award, and we'll look at Dyson Daniels as well. The only player that I will not be putting up numbers for and comparing to what he did last year and this year and all that kind of stuff is Cade Cunningham. Why? Because we all know what Cade Cunningham is doing this year. We all know that he is one of the best players. He's probably the best player in that lineup, of those 5 players. No one's disagreeing that. And so it kind of goes into what Kyle Anderson is saying and why I titled this first segment of the video, the hero that this league needs. We need to save the Most Improved Player of the Year award. You know, John Morant won it a few years back. Cade Cunningham might win it this year, and it's giving, like Kyle Anderson said, they're number 1 and number 2 picks. They're supposed to be doing this by year 3, year 4. Why are we going to give it to people who were pegged to be franchise-saving guys? John Morant came into the league, and we all said the Grizzlies have found their cornerstone, their next Marc Gasol, their next, better than Mike Conley, like the next big player to come through the Grizzlies organization. Same thing with Cade Cunningham. He was pegged to be the savior of Detroit basketball, and he has saved them from being the worst team in the league last year to now having a playoff spot locked in. Not a playing spot, a playoff spot locked in. He has had a great job, but that's what he was pegged to do. Tyler Hero was not pegged to be a franchise-saving guy in any year. If Tyler Hero is off this team this year, the Miami Heat are a lottery team, no question about it. That's how good he has been this year. So we're going to look at the numbers for each one of these players, and that's why I say, what is MIP about? What is the point of Most Improved Player? Before we look at the numbers, we're going to look at some of these teams and what the record has been saying for every single one of the Pistons, Nuggets, Lakers, and Heat, as well as the Hawks. The first team we're going to look at is going to be the Atlanta Hawks. The Atlanta Hawks last year, when we look at the Hawks, they were, get it up for you guys here real quick. The Atlanta Hawks last year, they were eliminated from the playoffs. They did not make the playoffs. They were 36-46. They were not a very good team. Now, looking at this year, as it stands today on April 10th, they are 37-42. They are in the play-in hunt. Last I checked, they've had a very good season. They've had an okay season, but as you can see, there's not too much of a growth from last year to this year. They've had a better season both in the win column, so they're gonna have a better year than last year. But the Hawks, aside from Dyson Daniels having a great year, and we'll look at his numbers here in a minute, it clearly has not translated to that much winning in terms of probably two more games towards the end of the year. Now we're gonna look at the Miami Heat. The Heat last year, they were 46-36. This year, they're 36-44. Again, we understand that is not a good sign. But like I mentioned, the storyline of this season for the Miami Heat has been the Jimmy Butler situation, the Jimmy Butler saga, debacle, era, whatever you want to talk about. That has been the biggest thing. Even though the numbers clearly are not in favor of the Heat from last year to this year, the Heat last year were a playing team. The Heat this year, they're a playing team. So even though you took Jimmy Butler off of this roster halfway through the year, they're still in the same spot they were in, even with Jimmy Butler on the roster. And then we look at the Nuggets. They were 57-25 last year, top 3, I believe, in the Western Conference. This year, they are now this year they're 48-32. I believe that's 4th in the conference. Again, similar where they were last year, so it hasn't really translated to too much more winning. For anything, they're losing more games, and we know what's going on there with Mike Malone just getting fired and all this other stuff. But then you also see the Lakers there. The Lakers right now, they're 49-31. Last year, the Lakers are 47-35, around the same spot as far as the seeding goes. But again, is it Austin Reeves or is it Luka Doncic and LeBron James still being one of the best, if not the best duo in the association? So this is what I'm talking about when I say you can't really judge it by team success. You have to judge it by everything, the totality of it. When we talk about, again, team success versus player success. So we've seen the numbers from these teams. There has not been too much aside from the Pistons. Again, we know what the Pistons have done. The Pistons went from bottom feeders. They were the worst team in the Eastern Conference to now being playoff teams, being a playoff team. We understand that. I'm not overlooking that. But my point still stands, and I agree with Kyle Anderson and a bunch of other people out there that Cade Cunningham is supposed to be doing this. I'm not taking it for granted. Cade Cunningham is one of the best young players in this association. Cade Cunningham is going to be arguably one of the faces of the league, or in contention. He's going to be at the table for the next 10 years. I think he could be, again, the guy who saves Detroit basketball, which is why you picked him with the number 1 overall pick. Aside from the past few years, you really have not seen most improved players be number 1, number 2 picks. Before Ja and possibly Cade Cunningham winning it this year, it was the CJ McCollums of the world, the Jimmy Butlers of the world, the Paul George of the world. Even Paul George, he was a top 10 pick. He was not picked to be the savior in Indiana. It was supposed to be the Danny Granger show. It wouldn't be a date with West, all these other guys. It ended up being Paul George. That's why he wins most improved player. Cade Cunningham was the number 1 overall pick. I don't think he should win most improved player this year. It just doesn't make sense to me. But we're going to talk about, like I mentioned there, this team success versus player success. Team success, not too much of a difference here. Now we look at the player success. That's where things are going to be a little bit interesting, in my opinion. The first person we're going to look at is Austin Reeves. Now here are Austin Reeves' numbers for this year and for last year. Last year in 82 games, didn't miss a single game. Austin Reeves put up 15 points per game, 4 rebounds, 5 assists. Very good splits for him, as you can see. Now, this year, he's putting up significantly more points at 20 points per game, about the same rebounds, about the same assists. I'll give him the roundup, so he's up in both those categories. At the same time, even though across the board, he has been pretty much either at the same, a little bit better, or maybe not that much worse than the year before, he has Luka Doncic and LeBron James on his team. I don't know if you can credit a lot of this to Austin Reeves. Yes, Anthony Davis gets traded. Yes, he gets a bigger role now, and credit to him. Again, I'm not taking him for granted, but I don't think he's improved that much. A 5-point per game jump, that's not a lot. And again, we're going to look at some numbers here from Tyler Hero. It's arguably better than Austin Reeves, in my opinion. So that's Austin Reeves' numbers. Now we go over to Christian Braun. Christian Braun is very different because, yes, you see the jump from 7 to 15 points per game. And I'd be okay with Christian Braun winning this over Tyler Hero instead of Cade Cunningham over Tyler Hero, because this is the definition of most improved player. You go from being outside the rotation, spot minutes, you never know when you're going to get your number called, to then KCP leaves, and now you are a starter. You are playing starters level minutes, even if you're coming off the bench, and you are producing. This is what a most improved resume looks like, in my opinion. So again, Christian Braun, in my opinion, should be a little bit higher on some of these odds-on favorites and makers and all that kind of stuff when it comes to this award, because I do believe he has a very good chance of doing it. And the Nuggets are still winning. They're still one of the top 4 teams in the Western Conference, even with all the dysfunction that's been going on this year with Michael Malone getting fired, the owner getting fired, and all this other stuff. Christian Braun, in my opinion, should be a top 3 consideration for the award of most improved player. So we go from Christian Braun now to Dyson Daniels. Now, Dyson Daniels last year, obviously he was traded to the Atlanta Hawks, so he has the New Orleans Pelicans. He was putting up 5 points per game. This year, putting up 14 points per game across the board. Again, in addition, much better numbers than last year, and I do believe that is a big help to him and to the association, because when we talk about Dyson Daniels could be, worst case, a flippable asset for the Hawks. That's also why I don't know if he should be getting the award, because if you're going to give it to most improved player, I believe it should be to a player who not only wasn't a top 3 pick in their draft class, but also a player that you kind of see moving forward, a part of that organization. Because the point is, you're developing these players in your organization to better, to help you win a championship in the near future, or help you win more games in the near future. Dyson Daniels have always given me the odds of they're going to trade him at some point. So I don't know if that's really going to be something that voters kind of taking into consideration. I'm not saying they should. And again, Dyson Daniels, in my opinion, again, over Cade Cunningham, I would be okay with Dyson Daniels winning this. But you still have Trae Young on this team. If you take Trae Young off this team, they are not this good. They are not going to be a playing team. They will be, if Dyson Daniels is your best player, all respect to him. He's going to be a great young player. He's going to continue to develop into a very good, I believe, starter level on any team association, one of the best defenders in the league. You're not going to win playing games. You'll be a lottery team. Respectfully, that's just what it's going to come down to. So I take those things into consideration as well. Now we go over to Mr. Tyler Hero. Tyler Hero, like I mentioned, I'm not going to talk about Cade Cunningham because we know what Cade Cunningham's numbers are. If you don't know him, go look him up. He's one of the best players in the league. We all know this. Tyler Hero's numbers. We'll start with last year. Tyler Hero was putting up 20 points per game, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, shooting the ball very, very well. These were not bad numbers last year. Tyler Hero was a very, very serviceable player for the Miami Heat, and he had a very solid season. Now we go over to his 6th Man of the Year award season when he won the award coming off the bench. Put up 20 points per game, just under 21, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. He was shooting the ball at a 44% clip, almost 48%, 39%, almost 40% from the three-point line, and 86% from the free throw line. Very good numbers. These are very good numbers for a player at the time that we were still kind of pushing and seeing what is Tyler Hero going to be. And this year he was the best player off the bench in the association. Remember these numbers. So again, last year he put up 20 points per game. The year that he won 6th Man of the Year, he actually put up a point less at 20.7 points per game. Now we're going to look at this season. He's putting up 23 points per game, almost 24, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. He's shooting the ball at a 47% clip, 37% from the three-point line, and 87%, almost 88% from the free throw line. These are his best numbers of his career. No doubt about it. He's played in almost every single game this season and started in every single one. Tyler Hero is having a career year. I believe he should be the most improved player. And when we talk about what I just said with Dyson Daniels, if you take Tyler Hero off this team, they become a lottery team. Tyler Hero has been the best player for the Miami Heat this year. There's no question about that. When you look at all these players that I have talked about, Tyler Hero has a better case than every single one of them, in my opinion. Because again, if you go through those 5, Cade Cunningham, you're number 1 pick. You're supposed to be doing this. We're not going to reward you for doing what you need to be doing. If anything, should be looking at most improved players, 6th Man of the Years. You should be looking at Rookie of the Years. You should be looking at MVPs. That's where his mindset is at. None of us here believe Tyler Hero is going to ever win the most valuable player. None of us do. You know, we would love it. I'm not saying he can't do it, but the odds of him winning that award are not as high as it is for Cade Cunningham. So that's why I don't think Cade Cunningham should be in this conversation at all. We'll talk about Christian Braun. Christian Braun, I believe he's the second best odds-on favorite in my opinion because, again, you clearly see a most improved jump for him. He went from, again, not being a rotation guy to now being a starter possible for the Denver Nuggets and winning. There's contributions to that. I think that is the definition of most improved player. Now, talk about Tyler Hero. Christian Braun just became one of the best starters in the association, one of the best players for the Denver Nuggets. Tyler Hero is the best player for the Miami Heat. He improved from being a role player, a second option maybe to Jimmy Butler, to now being, no, this is my team and we go as far as I take us. Now we go to Austin Reeves. Austin Reeves, you're benefiting from being with two of the greatest passers, playmakers, decision makers, two of the greatest minds of basketball in Luka Doncic and LeBron James. I don't know if I can necessarily give you that nod because now you're the third best player on this team. How can I say you've been the most improved player in the whole league? I don't know if that's really going to help you. If you are blessed with being able to play with two great minds that they're going to make you better. LeBron James and Luka Doncic are going to make their teammates around them better. They're going to get them better looks. They're going to give them cleaner looks. So you're going to naturally have a better numbers overall. Again, not taking anything against from Austin Reeves. He's a great player, and a lot of teams, including the Miami Heat, would love to have Austin Reeves. But if you put Tyler Hero in Austin Reeves' spot, he's probably better as a third option. No question about it. I think Tyler Hero is a better player than Austin Reeves, in my opinion. So I don't think Austin Reeves has a better case than Tyler Hero. Then we go to Mr. Dyson Daniels. Dyson Daniels, similar to Christian Brown, he has improved over his year jump in with the Hawks his first full year. Tyler Hero, if you take him off the Miami Heat, they are a lottery team. Dyson Daniels off the Atlanta Hawks, they're still going to be a playing team. I think Trae Young gets you a playing. He's a walking offense. He's one of the best shooters. He's going to continue to set up his teammates. He's going to be a one-man offense because of the way he shoots the ball and spreads out the defense. Dyson Daniels, he makes it a lot easier for Trae Young, don't get me wrong, but Tyler Hero has much more of a load to carry for his team than a Dyson Daniels does. And when you look at the team success, if you want to go off of that end, there ain't really too much difference for anybody. Again, Pistons excluded. I just can't do it with the Pistons. Cade Cunningham should not win this award, not because I'm trying to be a hater, but because it just doesn't make sense. Most improved player is for the players that actually improved that we didn't think was going to happen. A Jordan Poole going from a great pick maybe for the Warriors at the time to being arguably a top 3 player for you in a championship run. Like, that wasn't, to now getting paid that much money, like, that was not on anyone's bingo card when it came to Jordan Poole. Same thing with Jimmy Butler, one of the last pick in the draft to now be the best player or one of the best players in the association at times. That's not in the cards for you. CJ McCollum, same thing, going from a reserve out of the rotation, a bench player to being a starter caliber player, fringe all-star almost every single year. Not John Morant, who's the number 2 pick in the draft. Not a Cade Cunningham, who's the number 1 pick in the draft. Those are not most improved players. They are doing what they're supposed to be doing, making those leaps in 3 years or so. That's my take on it. I truly believe Tyler Hero has the best odds, in my opinion, to win this award. So if that comes out, do not be surprised. You're here to hear first. Tyler Hero for most improved player. I truly believe it's possible. There's only about 2 other players that I think could even have a conversation, and that's, in my opinion, Christian Brown and Dyson Daniels. But even still, Tyler Hero has improved to being an all-star player, locked, to being the best player on a franchise team and producing in wins. It's not just, the team might not be winning as much as they were with Jimmy Butler, but they're in the same spots as they were with Jimmy Butler, a playing team. So is it really that much of a difference? In my opinion, not really. Tyler Hero for most improved player. Leave down in the comments below if you think he has a chance to win most improved player and a legit chance. And if not, why? Why do you think Tyler Hero should not be or won't win the most improved player of the year award? With that being said, we'll see you guys on the next episode of Heat Digest.